I was expecting something different, but I really enjoyed this. Slight spoilers. Hello, welcome to Just My Thoughts. I'm your host Khaleel Ward. On this episode, I'll be talking about The Prosecutor. It's on Prime Video. It stars Donnie Yen. It's also directed by Donnie Yen. And I like Donnie Yen. I was going in expecting action, fighting. That's what he does. It's categorized as an action thriller. I would say this is more courtroom drama with some action moments. I watched it in its original language because it was a little bit more serious. You can watch it in English if you choose to. There will be slight spoilers because there's a lot going on in this movie. But it should seem familiar. We follow Yen. I don't know anybody's name, so we're gonna go with Yen. He's standing there and he has on his neck brace and cane, and you're like, what happened to him? And we are in a courtroom, and the lawyers are talking and they're asking questions, and we see what happened and how Yen ended up in his position, and we get action off the bat. Like, he's leading like a raid of officers, and he's doing his Donnie Yen thing. He's shooting people, but he's also getting the riot shield and kicking people, and they do like a first person POV type thing, and it's kind of cool. It's really cool. But then his partner is chasing someone, and then they like kind of fall off this structure, and Yen dives, catches her, falls on his back, and that's how he gets injured. All the while in court, they're losing the case, and the guy they were after gets off. So it kind of like frustrates him, and he quits the police force, and he goes to study to be a lawyer, a prosecutor. And you see like a little montage, and it's like 7 years later, he works for the Department of Justice as a prosecutor, and he gets his first case. And they say like at the end, they say like this is loosely based on a real case. You can look up the case and everything, but he gets this case. It seems really simple. This young kid, he lends out his address to someone for some money. He gets a delivery. Turns out the delivery of drugs. Police are waiting. Kid gets arrested. He's like, hey, so-and-so said it'd be all right. They arrest the other dude too. And the kid gets a lawyer, and they're like, yeah, you should plead guilty to drug trafficking. You're gonna get a light sentence or whatever. And the kid is with his grandfather, and they're like, okay, I guess. And he gets like 27 years. It's supposed to be an open and shut case. The prosecutor should be happy. Okay, cool. It's over. And you can see Yen like looking like something is wrong. This is wrong. It's a slight case. He gets 27 years. The other kid gets off. Nothing happens to him. What's going on? And when he first starts, the characters are around him are like, relax. It's your first case. This is how it's done. You shouldn't be talking to the judge and trying to not send this kid to jail, basically. And Yen gets into this position as a prosecutor to make sure the right thing happens. And he can see that the wrong thing is happening. So he starts essentially pulling at the thread of what's really going on in this situation with this case. And at first, like, everybody's just like, chill out. What are you doing? And he's persistent. And he starts looking into the kid's lawyer. And the kid is like, they told me to do this, and they said this would happen, and I would get a light sentence. How am I getting 27 years? And the grandfather is really stressed out because he's like, I'm not going to be alive by the time you get out of jail, and we don't have any money. And it's just like the family is falling apart, and Yen is looking into it like, all right, something is up. And he starts working with, somebody he used to work with in the police department. He's like, we need to find answers. We need to look into what's going on with these lawyers and everything. And then he starts seeing the lawyer that the kid got is kind of corrupt, told him to do this deal. He went to jail multiple times. He got off multiple times. And then he just starts, every thread he pulls, more stuff is exposed. And it starts getting the attention of the person that was assigned to work with him who's a little bit older and more experienced, and he's like, yo, something is up, we got to keep going. And they just start pulling files. That's why I say it's more courtroom drama, because they go to court a couple of times and they're discussing the case. The action comes as Yen is starting to uncover some things. They're like, we got to get rid of this dude. So they try to target the grandfather, and Yen happens to be there, and he gets to do a little action moments. And the officer that he's with gets to get into some action moments where they're fighting, and everything looks pretty crisp and cool. So it's just like one of those, it's a different type of movie for Donnie Yen, well, that I've seen with Donnie Yen. I just went in expecting, okay, something happens, he's gonna go kick some butt, basically. But it's a slower process. It's a slower movie, and I enjoyed that. I like watching him care about not just the people he worked with, but like the citizens around him, like just making sure due process was due. Like he just did the right thing all the time, and it was just a different. I've never seen him do this type of acting before. I'm used to him getting beat up, beating people up, come back, save the people. And it was different. Like, it's a slow burn. Like I said, I watched it in the original language, and I think you should too, because I would recommend watching the movie, because it's a courtroom drama. And you've seen movies like this before, where like a lawyer or someone is trying to uncover something, some corruption that's going on, and people are trying to stop him from finding out the truth. And that's what this is that movie, but with a little bit more fighting and some shooting, but it's a lot of hand-to-hand combat as they're trying to take. They're like, why is this guy so persistent? And he's like, hey, I used to be a cop, I'm gonna do the right thing. The Prosecutors, it's a good movie. It's something you should check out on Prime Video if you have a chance. If you're a fan of Donnie Yen, I recommend this movie to for you. Again, go in expecting a little bit slower development of things, and then you get a little sprinkle of action on top of stuff. There's a fight scene towards the end of the movie on the train, and I thought that was like really well done. Like it lasted for a while, and I was like, okay, this is what most people came to see, this type of fight scene. But the courtroom drama stuff is really well done. The Prosecutor, it's good. Check it out. Those are just my thoughts on this movie. If you watched it, let me know what you thought about it. Thanks for watching.